Hello Austin, hello Mason, hello Isaac. Today I'll be showing you how to prime an IV fluid line for kids. It's super important with kids to have zero air bubbles in your line because kids can have, you guys know this, undiagnosed atrial septal defects, ventricular septal defects, or other congenital stuff. And if a tiny bit of air gets in, then they can have a paradoxical embolism. So we don't want that. Step one, have an Alaris tubing. Whether you use the Alaris pump or not, you're going to be running it through the tubing because that's just what we do. Next up, have an extension line to make it a bit longer. But lastly, you also want a J-loop because in surgery with kids, you'll be starting your own IVs. So that would be nice to have. Make sure your lines are clamped and then spike the bag. Now, when you spike the bag, you want to make sure that the chambers is extra super full. Just to super make sure that no air gets into the line, even if the fluid somehow runs fast. Now, what you need is a 5cc syringe. The reason you want the syringe is you want to be aspirating air out of all of the ports when you prime the line. Even if you prime a line perfectly, there will still be air that gets caught in the chamber of each port, so we want to aspirate that out. I unclamp and wait until the fluid passes the first chamber, clamp, and then I aspirate all the air out. Look at all that air. That's about half a cc air right there. You can flick it, the last bit of air. There we go. You hook it up to the next chamber and repeat. Keep in mind, we're not using the roller clamp, we're using the pinch clamp. So it's a good trick to control how fast you want the tubing to prime by holding it how high. There we go, clamp. And that's another cc of air. Unclamp, clamp, aspirate. Now this last port is after the last roller clamp or pinch clamp. So you want to do the same thing, unclamp, but when it passes, clamp, aspirate the air. But you have 3 cc's of saline already. You can just flush the rest of the tubing with that. And you just primed an entire IV set with a 500cc bag with 1.5 cc's of fluid loss.